These guys are ridiculous. These guys are ridiculous.
Now, how about them damn Celtics?
Welcome back to another How About Them Celtics video. Sam and I are here recording. What day is it? It's Thursday, July 13th. I have to
Still
check every
Thursday.
time.
Same
Still
day
Thursday.
it was 20 minutes ago when you introed the last one.
Sam and I have recorded 3 videos here, but I'm losing my mind, I guess. But we are going to react to an article put out by Bleacher Report. We reacted to one by Zach Buckley of Bleacher Report in our last video. He wrote 3 Celtics trades. 2 of them were Dame trades. One was a Brogdon trade. Go find out what the packages were in Saturday's video at this point. Go look on the channel. We appreciate you. And today, we are going to react to a Bleacher Report video called Which 2023 NBA Offseason Moves Will Look Worse in 3 Years? Greg Swartz of Bleacher Report wrote this. Now, you may be asking yourself, Jack, Sam, why are we reacting to this video? What moves that the Celtics made will look bad? Well, according to Greg Swartz,
Dylan Brooks, James Harden, Kyrie, all good ones.
Celtics sacrifice Marcus Smart for Kristaps Porzingis, give him $60 million.
I like the way they presented that, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
They sure did.
Mm-hmm.
They took him to the back room. He was going to be a made man, and then they just killed him.
All right, let's read what Swartz has to say, and then we'll discuss. On paper, getting Porzingis and 2 firsts for Marcus looks like good value. Coming off a strong season, helps Boston balance the roster. Dive deeper, and this is a massive gamble for the Celtics, says Swartz. Losing Smart, starting point guard, integral part of their success, heart and soul. He gets the Celtics into their sets, calls teammates out if necessary, starts fires when they need a spark. Smart, Tatum, and Brown all shared the floor this playoffs. They had a net rating of plus 7.4 when the 2 star forwards were on the court without Smart. They were a minus 0.9. Very impactful, obviously. Celtics will miss Smart's presence on and off the court in the locker room.
Sure will.
Trade will have a major impact on the finances too. Smart was owed a team-friendly average of nearly $20 million per year for the next 3 seasons. A 2-year, $60 million extension brings his total up to $96 million over the next 3 seasons. That's $12 million more per year than Smart. Significant, when taking a look at the financials.
It is,
Tatum
but it's
and Brown.
not. I want to stop there because I think the Porzingis contract is actually a good contract in the
I agree.
Context of the new CBA, in the context of, let's not even say Dame because I've picked on him a lot. Let's say Zach LaVine making $60 million.
Sure.
Porzingis is probably going to contribute more to this team in terms of winning than Zach LaVine will in Chicago. You're going to get more bang for your buck. Porzingis as a Celtic will probably have moments where he's able to shine besides Tatum and Brown. Not having to take on the brunt of the attention of a defense as much is going to be very, very favorable to Porzingis. And he gives him a little bit of a break in case of emergency, throw the ball to him near the basket offense.
I agree. And I mean, you look at it in the context of DeJounte Murray getting $30 million from the Hawks, like who's a better player right now, Porzingis or DeJounte Murray? I think it's close. I would probably lean Porzingis. Maybe that's the Celtics bias or the green glasses, but I think he had a better season than DeJounte Murray did last season. And obviously, again, it's the roles, his role in Washington versus DeJounte's role in Atlanta. But I would say they're similar level players, all-star caliber players in a secondary or in Porzingis' case, tertiary role in their teams. Getting that much money, that's just how much it's going to cost at this point. And then finishing with his thoughts, basically he just saying Tatum and Brogdon expected to sign their huge extensions. Tatum and Brown, I should say. Brogdon and White making 22 and 19 mil. Destin become a second apron team, put limitations on their trade and draft pick. Porzingis averaging 54 games a season over the past few years. Trade looks fine now, but has a potential to turn disastrous. I get what Greg Swartz is saying. I don't know if I necessarily agree with it. I think the best point he made was losing Marcus's leadership off the court. I think that's going to be the biggest thing the Celtics need to replace. I think you have Brogdon and Derek White to replace the point guard play. The playmaking, maybe you question it, but I think you use Brogdon as a playmaker more than you did last season because they didn't do it a lot this past year, I think. And Derek White has shown the ability to play that role, and obviously Tatum's always improved as a playmaker. Hopefully Brown can work on that a little bit this summer too. I think you have the stuff to replace that. Pritchard too, but the leadership you have or you're missing with Smart gone, I don't think Porzingis is going to replace that. Not a shot at Porzingis and his potential mentality, but just like the new guy coming into a team isn't necessarily going to be a leader on that team, especially when the guy you're replacing in the rotation had been there for 10 years, 9 years?
9 years.
9 years. And I think obviously Horford's going to step up into that role more. I think Brogdon can be a solid leader because of his experience. And I think you're going to depend on Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum improving their roles and expanding their roles and growing as leaders a lot this year, which is possible because as much as it's a cliche, they're not young in the sense that they should like when I say they're still young, I don't mean in the sense that, oh, it's okay. They haven't won yet, right? They should have won these past 2 years, like you always say, but they're young in the sense that they're still young as people. So there's still time for them to grow into leaders, right? You look at all these teams across time. The Thunder never broke through. Maybe it's because they were too young and didn't have those leaders as their stars, right? This is a random example, but Paul George Pacers, right? Like that was a young star leading a team, right? You look at all these teams and their quest to the finals, like the Warriors specifically brought in Andre Iguodala to be a leader for that young core. So as Tatum and Brown get older, you're expecting them to grow as leaders. And so I think that could mitigate it. I think that's the best point Greg Swartz made as to why this could blow up in their face. I don't think it was as big of a gamble as he's making it out to be, though. But I understand his point.
See, I don't know if it's a gamble. I just think it's more of a you better win because you pissed off a bunch of people thing.
Well, isn't that what a gamble is?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Because I don't think you're going to regret the Porzingis part of this deal. I think the regret comes on the Marcus Smart side where it's like,
yes,
this guy was what it really means to be a Celtic. You got rid of him.
Mhm.
And what does that say to guys that want to stick with your team and be with your team forever? It's almost like the Dame thing where it's like free agents are monitoring this as they consider Portland, whatever.
Except it matters
bullshit they try to
because
put out.
free agents will come to Boston, and they have.
And it does matter. And this is the second guy they axed like this that meant a lot to the team and the fan base within a 10-year period. Like
I will
Isaiah Thomas
say,
got the same axe 6 years ago.
At the same time, we see where treating your stars like your children can get you, realistically. Look at Washington. Bradley Beal's our baby. We're keeping him. We'll do right by Bradley Beal.
The Celtics, aren't paying Marcus Smart. I mean, the financial aspect of this is in the article where it's like they're paying him less money than Porzingis.
Sure.
But also, the success was not there in Washington. Washington made the second round once.
Mm-hmm.
And actually twice. When Paul Pierce was on the team, I believe they won a first-round series. Maybe they did.
Sure. Well, my point is less that, like, you could have countered with the, okay, well, look at Udonis Haslem. They've taken care of him. It's a middle ground between those two things, right? They took care of Udonis Haslem because he didn't impact their ability to build financially. And
also, I'm pretty sure, sorry, not to cut you off, I'm pretty sure the Haslem thing was like a wink, wink handshake agreement where like he took a pay cut in the past and they just let him collect checks for the last X amount of years. I forget who said that, but I heard that somewhere.
I mean, good for them. But regardless, he might have taken a pay cut when the big three was there. But regardless, it's in between that and the Beal Dame stuff because obviously the Beal Dame stuff is you're expecting him to be the face of the franchise, but they're financially impacting you. And can they be the one versus Udonis, where he is obviously taking up a roster spot and some money, but it's a minimum contract. So who cares? Marcus was somewhere in the middle where you see a team not be able to get over the hump for so many years. And like I said this when they made the trade, when Brad Stevens took over from coach to GM, we sat here saying, I think the biggest concern is probably, is he going to feel too much of a connection to these players where he isn't going to be willing to make the tough moves? Obviously, this probably isn't the tough move you might have wanted to see as a Celtics fan, but it shows a commitment to winning. And as I've said time and time again, as much as I love Marcus, and obviously at least Brad's head was in the right place because he was going to trade Brogdon instead at first, and that would have been obviously chef's kiss perfect. But this shows that he's not afraid to make big swings and improve the team. And realistically, I think the team got better from this. And at the very least, looking at it in the scope of just that trade, the Marcus for Porzingis and multiple firsts, it's just objectively good value, I think. And I understand the financial questions that Swartz has. I understand the off-court leadership questions that he has. But I think at this point you say, Jason, Jaylen, look, step up as leaders. We're going to get more talent in here. We're going to get a third all-star caliber player in here at a different position than the point guard position where the third all-star has always been at in the past. And we're going to run with this.
Even.
And
oh, technically, yes.
What do you mean? What were you saying?
The other point guards they've played with, yes.
That's what I meant. I meant Kemba, Kyrie, Isaiah. So.
I just blanked on that. Yes.
That's my thing. I understand the concerns, the off-court leadership and the money in the future. I think it's okay. I think they're fine. especially if Brad, to tie in a past video, go check out our Jordan Walsh piece, especially if he can find potentially impactful players in the draft like he has.
Yeah.
And it's not defense because there's nothing to defend him over. Brad has been able to find impactful players in the open market in his short tenure here, right? You look at the past few years, right? Obviously, Juwan Vegar and Yamadar, like whatever, they haven't come over, but like found Sam Hauser on the open market. Jordan Walsh looks solid. Like he's able to find these okay players. Luke Cornett, they brought back, and he's an okay, 14th man. So I think they'll be okay in that sense because it seems like Brad is capable of finding those fringe guys who can make an impact. And with the glutton of guard depth they had, adding another big man in there, especially with how thin they were at the center position realistically, like I get the concerns, but I disagree with them for the most part.
Yeah. I don't think the Porzingis aspect of this is a gamble. I don't. I think Porzingis is someone that people aren't excited enough about. And I've said it before.
I agree.
The stats
and
say he had a great season, played a lot of games, was efficient on a bad team. If he's on a good team, how's that going to affect those numbers?
I agree. And I also agree on the bigger concern is giving up Smart, but I think it'll work out as long as Tatum and Brown grow, which they have every year. It's just time for them to grow as leaders now, which should be good. But that's all. Going over that, for those wondering, the last thing on this list is Jeremy Grant's contract, which makes sense. But thank y'all for tuning in. Subscribe to How About Them Celtics. We appreciate you, and I'll let Sam take us home.
Yeah, thank you very much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, join the rest. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any breaking news, like that Porzingis trade when it happened twice. Put 2 videos up for that. Make sure you follow us on streaming services so you don't miss any new podcast episodes, which will also be on the YouTube. Make no mistake. But Spotify and Apple, we're there. Leave a nice review of us. Leave good comments. Make sure that you shout us out. Socials, at How About Them C's, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Facebook is just the name of the podcast. You can leave us a like there. I was going to say follow us. I guess you can follow people on Facebook. And you'll get every live stream we do there, as well as the YouTube pregame for Celtics games, special event streams. We do all of it. Make sure you follow Jack on Twitter at JackSmartNBA. You can follow me at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us.
Tic-tac-toe.